Hi everyone, this is Elena Kraus and welcome to another LDRS creative card video. In this video we'll use the Cherry Blossom stamp set along with scalloped circle dies and we'll make a window cards as well. It will be a square card. So let's get started. I'm using the smaller images from the stamp set and the Raven ink pad to stamp onto some white cardstock that's alcohol marker friendly. As well, the hybrid Raven ink is alcohol marker friendly as well as waterproof. So you can use it both for um, alcohol marker coloring or for watercoloring. So I just put a bunch of the images to fit onto the A2 panel that is 4¼ by 5½, and I'm inking them with the Raven ink and then stamping. I'm using a stamping tool because I'm stamping a bunch of images at once, and I'm stamping a couple times to get a nice and rich black color and to make sure that the images are stamped clean and crisp. So once we have stamped those, I'll use my heat tool because I overstamped those a couple times. Just wanted to make sure that the ink is dry before I start coloring them. Otherwise, if the ink is not dry, the ink will start smudging when you start coloring. So next I'm using some alcohol markers and I'm just doing quick coloring, nothing out of the ordinary. I'm mixing 3 colors for the flowers, for the cherry blossoms, like the pinks, and then I'll add some brown, yellow, and green. So I'm gonna speed this up so you don't need to watch me coloring all these images. Just adding here yellow in the center of the flowers, and then coloring the rest of the images. So they're all colored, and I'm using shimmer spray to spray that whole panel instead of spraying. I found out it's easier if I spray the whole panel instead of, once they're die cut, to spray each individual image. So I'll heat set that because I wanted to die cut it right away, and I did not want to wait, so I lined up all the dies, the coordinating dies, and by the magic of YouTube, they're all die cut. So I'm just popping them out from my paper, the panel where I stamped them, because my dies were secured with some repositionable tape, low tack tape. So we have all the images. We're not going to use them all for the card. So here I cut a square that measures 4¼ by 4¼ I'm using the second to the largest circle from the scalloped circles die set to die cut a window. So I'm gonna again secure that die using repositionable tape or low tack tape or post-it notes, whatever works for you. And then using my die cutting machine, I will die cut that circle. As well, I cut a piece of cardstock that measures 8½ by 4¼ for my card base. It makes 4¼ by 4¼ card base. Here you saw me scored at 4¼ and now I put the window frame on top of that note card, and I'm positioning all the images that I want to use. I'm not gonna use all the images that I colored and die cut. I'll just use some of them. So I'm just layering them, positioning them on the window where I want them to be, which ones to be on top, which ones on bottom, and we're gonna create a little bit dimension. So to make sure that they all stay in place, I'm using here press and seal foil, or I don't know what's called, press and seal, and that it's very low tack for the paper and it holds them nicely. So here I looked which the images I wanted to be on the bottom, and I applied adhesive. There are only 2 images, and positioned that on top of my note card. So I'm gonna pull up that frame again, and we have you see we have those 2 images that are on the note card base. Next, I didn't remove that press and seal, and I'm just adhering all the images together just to make sure that they don't move. Once that's done, I'll remove the press and seal from the top. Just adhere one more that branch there to the corner. Well, not really corner of the circle, but to the side. The images that go on top of the circle of that panel. And next I will use some foam tape. I'm just cutting thinner strips here because mine is pretty white. So whatever kind of mounting tape, like foam mounting tape you have, or 3D adhesive, you can use. I'm just using foam tape, and I'm just cutting to the size that I need. So I'm applying around the frame and on the images. So that looks good. I'll just remove the backing of all of the tape and then line that frame up on top of my note card. So this way you'll have some images that are on the front, some that are on the back. That creates more dimension. To finish off the card, I'm stamping. I'm sorry here, my stamping tool is off the camera, but I'm stamping a sentiment that says sending. It's from the same cherry blossom stamp set. It says sending you lots of hugs. I stamped that in watermark ink, and I applied a white embossing powder and heat set it. Next, I'm going back in my stamp positioning tool, and I'm over stamping again with watermark ink, applying again more white embossing powder, and I'll heat set again. This will give us more like brighter white and more kind of raised image of sentiment. So I'll just wipe off the excess with some microfiber cloth. By magic of YouTube, I cut that out into a thin strip. And again, I'll use mounting foam to adhere the piece that goes over the frame, because the frame is popped up on the same adhesive. And on the end, I'll just add regular adhesive. So I'm using T ruler to make sure that that's lined up correctly. And here I'm adding that glue to finish off my card. Turn it around, and here's the finished card. Thanks for stopping by today, and don't forget to subscribe to the LDRS Creative YouTube channel so you don't miss any inspiration on any other videos. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye!